Hello everyone. Have you noticed anything different? Yes, I have a new haircut. Thank you for mentioning. No, I'm just messing. But today we have a new setup. I actually put this tiny box inside my desktop. Now, today we're running the good old Arch. Well, not really Arch Linux, but we are using a distribution called Endeavor. It's a habit. I like to say I have a habit of distro hopping, but I can always be pretty concise when it comes to Debian or Arch. It's one of those two only. I mean, if you wanted to use Fedora and use their DNF package manager, knock your socks off. But as you can see, we have some packages, very little in my opinion. It could be more, could be less. We have the Pacman, we have Flatpak that I personally use when it comes to Arch distributions. I use Flatpak. Now, the one cool thing about running an Arch distribution is the Blackarch, and yes, you heard of me right, the Blackarch forums or the Blackarch installation. Now, they do have their own ISO. I actually have it right here. They have their own ISO, but in my opinion, I'm not the type of person to download 22 gigabytes of just pure tools. There's no reason that anybody should be doing this, in my opinion, unless you have a job that tells you to use the 22 gigabytes worth of tools. It's just ridiculous because one tool, in my opinion, is like, what? It's like less than 500 megabytes. Like, I'm pretty sure Nmap is like around the 70s to 100 megabytes, right? So downloading 22 gigabytes of tools sounds pretty outrageous, in my opinion. So what we did is put Blackarch on top of it. Now you might be wondering, but doesn't that install all of the tools? Didn't you just say we don't want to do that? Well, no, not exactly, because as you can see, if I go to the terminal right here, we can do a pacman tag s Blackarch. Oh, sudo. Then put in my password. So these are the Blackarch packages. Now, as you can see, I didn't download any of them. If anything, I downloaded, I think, 3. I downloaded Snort, Nmap, and Proxy Chains. Those are the only 3 that I download, right? So we don't want to install any of these. But if I do a, Nmap, 8.8.8.8. Oh, Nmap. Oh, I didn't install Nmap. Let's do that. See, like I said, 20 oh, you can't see it, but 24, it's 24 megabytes, right? It's stinking small. It's like right here, 24 megabytes. It's very small. So we do like a Nmap. I probably should have put in the switches, but you get what I mean. You don't have to install like all of these right here. If you want like SMTP fuzz, just put in the number 2248. So that's how you install tools in Blackarch. Now, I apologize. I have a brain fart. But you might be wondering, Tony, Kenny, Antonio, why do you want to do this? Why Arch? Why? Like a few days ago, you were just using Mint OS, and now you're changing to EndeavourOS, which is an Arch. And if you were watching a couple of videos back, I was using what we called Contoolin 3. Okay, Contoolin 3, if you don't remember, is basically putting Kali Linux tools inside of a Debian distribution. And I got it, I had it installed like 5 times, but I was still struggling with broken packages. Why? I don't even know. I wish I have the answer, but I don't know. Could be the apt key, we in some videos that I was watching, I have to put an apt key in by using wget tag o, and then putting the key into the apt key list, and then making sure it's legit, and then go ahead and download Contoolin 3 through the GitHub repository, making sure it works, run the script, turn it into an executable through chmod plus 8 plus x, and then bam, we got tooling 3, right? And it works until I start installing the actual tools, and then it starts breaking everything. Then I have to like go to my snapshots and then redo everything or just find a better way. So I was like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of, you know, broken packages. I might as well just go back to Arch because Arch hasn't let me down yet, baby. But yeah, that's why we're running Blackarch on top. Not all the tools, but we're running on top of Endeavor, which is an Arch-based distribution. Now, there's a couple. If you want to do Arch, you can. Like, do I recommend it to new users? Not really, unless you're looking through, you know, Endeavor, Manjaro, Arco Linux, Archcraft. I think that's one of them. I don't remember. But if you want to do like those, you can. But I like Endeavor. It's like the top 3 Linux distributions on the distro watch. So I went ahead and downloaded this bad boy. Now, let me see. The installation is very, very simple. As you can see here, all you needed to do is do a curl and then to verify it, and it pops like a menu. It's like, okay, like it's good to go. So chmod to change the permissions to executable, right? So this is to change the strap sh. I can't speak today. And then this is to make it an executable, right? So if we go to my terminal and I just do an ls, or those are the videos. Where did I think I put it in downloads. There we go. So you see a strap sh, and you can see there's like it's green on like the blue ones, because the blue ones means it's a directory. The green means it's an executable. At least in Fish, because I'm using the Fish whatchamacallit, the Fish terminal. So if you use like others, you might not have the same result as I did. So if we go back, so if we use this basic terminal, change the directory to downloads, ls. Oh, it's the same thing. Wow, I'm really not, you know, I'm not really doing a good job here. I'm letting you guys down. I'm sorry. But yes, now, that's all fine and dandy. Blackarch on top of Arch distribution. But the real reason why I'm making this video is because we're going to talk about, and I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about the terminal. Very important that when you're running a Linux distribution that you understand the terminal, right? Very important. I don't care if you download Mint or Ubuntu and then call it a day, right? You're going to need to learn how to use the terminal one way or the other, right? Now, since we're doing an Arch-based distribution, the package manager is a little different. So it's going to be a pacman tac S to install, tac Y to update, and tac SYU to upgrade, right? That's for Arch, but if you're like in Debian, it's going to be a sudo apt install, or if you're in Fedora type, you can do a sudo DNF, right? Those are the ones that you might run into, right? But before you even download Linux, just be sure which distribution you're dealing with. That way, if you're trying to make these upgrades, trying to make the installs, you already know the package manager, right? Now, we're going to make this video real quick because I made a video last night and it lasted like 30 minutes. So we're just going to fly through this, okay? So to make a directory, right, if we do an ls, first of all, ls is to list out all the things that are in the pathway. Now, what's a pathway? This is the pathway. But if you want to know where you are, you can do a pwd to show the pathway. Now, if I want to change a directory, we have to do a cd to change the directory, and then to make sure that you use the capital D, right? So let's say I want to change it to documents, I have to do a capital D, because if I do documents like that, 1, it's going to turn red for me, and 2, it's going to be like that doesn't exist, right? So we're going to go ahead and backspace, make sure you put the capital documents, press tab to complete the rest of the command, and as you can see right there, it changed to directory to documents. You're literally looking, or you're inside that directory. So we do an ls. I didn't put anything in there, but we're in directory. And to confirm that, we can do a pwd at the pathway directory and then you can see I'm in the documents. This is my new pathway, right? Okay, now to make a file, we're going to use a command called touch. I really hope I have this installed. But to make a file, we use the touch command, right? And then we use, let's do a file.txt to make a file. Now you're wondering, did that do anything? Well, yes, it did. If you do an ls, boom, bada bing, bada boom, it's right there. All right. Now there's two text editors that a lot of people use, and I mean a lot. Okay. By default, if you're a brand new beginner, most people will do Nano as their text editor. For me, I like to use Vim. That way, like if I press on some key, I don't mess it up. So we're gonna do a Vim a file.txt, and there we go. We're in there. Now to use Vim, you want to press I to insert, and then you can do whatever. So you do hello, my name is Arch. Right now, when you're done, you want to press the escape button. Then you want to do a colon, W for write, Q to quit. Right. So now we just edited our first text file. And to confirm that we actually edited it, we're going to use a command called cat to concatenate, and then a file.txt, and there you go. Hello, my name is Arch, right? So we ran a couple of commands already. Another command that I highly recommend everybody use once in their lifetime is called the history command. Now what's the history command? I'm glad you asked. It's going to tell you the history of Linux. No, not really. It tells you the history of all of the commands that you've inputted. As you can see, I did quite a good bit of commands already. You can see I make this one's for a GitHub right here. GitHub again. I was running the snap pack, and turns out it gave an error on me, so I quit using snap. I now use flatpak. But you can see this is from the Blackarch install. As you can see, if I move it up a little bit, as you can see right here, this is just to validate it, right? There's another package manager on Arch is called Yay, very different. But if I use a different terminal like this one, you're gonna have a completely different history. I'm gonna have a completely different history. So if I do history, if I can spell it right, very different. Now the difference between this one and I need to configure the fish. This one's the fish. The difference between these is let's just say I don't remember or I can't type out the whole command. I go ahead and scroll up, and let's say I want to use packseek, which is another package manager. It's number 197. So what you do is you do exclamation point 197 all in one word. There you go. This is packseek, by the way. Very cool stuff. Now another command is we talked about the exclamation point, but there's another one which is 2 exclamation points. Now what does that do? Okay, let's say we do a pacman tac s. Oh, you need to be root. Crazy. So instead of going up, go all the way back, type in sudo, right? Instead, you can do sudo, bam, bam. There you go. It actually works, but I'm not installing anything. So those are the double exclamation points. Sudo, by the way, you see me type sudo a good bit. Sudo is basically a command that you use when you need to do a administrative. You need to do something that involves administrative level, or what we call the sudoers group. So in this account, my name is this is my handle, and it's in the sudoers group, right? But I can't do pacman type s without the sudo, because I'm not really root. In order to be root, by the way, you can do a sudo su to switch user, right? And then I put in my password, right? Now, as you can see, I'm now root. And if I do a who am I, which is another command, I'm root, right? Now, if you don't want to use sudo, you have to switch to the root command. So now if I do a pacman tac s, no targets, but let's do sy to update it. There you go, right? yeah, that's most of the basic simple commands. Now let's do something a little bit more interesting. So to switch back, we do a su and then my handle, and as you can see, if I do a who am I, I'm now Kenny, right? So let's change it to not downloads but documents, and as you can see, we still have the a file txt. Now to give a better visual representation, I'm going to go ahead and pull out another terminal. Wrong button. There you go. Now, if we do a pwd for pathway directory, we can see we're in this directory, right? Now, let's say we want to change it to, let's say, public. Let's change it to the public directory, okay? So we're going to go ahead, we're going to do the mv for move, and then we're going to do the file, which is a file txt, and then we're going to put it in public. You don't really have to do this unless you're having a hard time keeping up, but what I like to do, I like to actually go to the directory and then list out the pathway, right? Just to make it a little easier on myself. So we're in the home, Kenny, public with a capital P. Remember, it's case sensitive. Now, if we do an ls, where'd it go? Well, we did an ls on the documents and it's gone. I'm glad you asked, because it is now in the public directory. Very cool stuff. Okay, so another command that we can use called rm to remove. Now, rm is like a very dangerous command to use, especially the rm rf, and that's to like actually delete the files, and it can be recoverable, but it's like a little hard. So so we can go ahead and clear, and then we do a list, and we say I don't want this text anymore, and I don't want to go to the Nemo file and locate it like this, and I have to wait and then right click into it. It's too much work. What command can I use? I'm glad you asked. The rm rf, which I already said that. And then we go ahead, we do the rm rf, we put in the file that we don't want, and then very simply press in the enter key. Now if we do an ls, it's gone. Like, you can't get it back. Whatever you just had in there, it's gone now. Alright? Alright, so another command that I feel like everyone should know, especially when you're in the software development industry or if you're in the cyber industry, it's called git. Now, by default, it's not really installed inside any of your distributions. If it does, I don't know about it, right? Go ahead and clear. And by the way, the clear button is to clean out your terminal, make it look non-cluttered, right? So we're gonna install a command called git. So we do a sudo pacman tech s git with the git, not get, and we do my password. Couple megabytes, not so bad. All right, now we add it. Now let's go to GitHub, shall we? Okay, and let's just say we want phone info GA. And by the way, for the people that don't know what this tool is, it's basically an OSINT, which is an open source intelligent tool that you use to actually, I wouldn't say like stalk people. When you put it that way, it's kind of weird, but you can use people's phone numbers and like get a history behind it. If you're good enough, you can get the history and the location of where it came from and all that stuff. But I do not advise, by the way, I do not advise you do that, please. I'm only doing this for educational purposes, and I don't really know a better tool to think of besides Nmap, which I already installed. So we're just going to use this tool, right? Please, again, disclaimer, I'm only doing this for educational purposes. Do not use this tool for malicious activities or malintent or doxing. Please do not. Anyway, so as you can see, we're in the GitHub repository of Sundown Dev, right? We're going to click this green button right here, and then it's gonna take us to the local tab, but you can see we're gonna use the HTTPS link, not the CLI. We're gonna use the HTTPS link. We're gonna copy that, and then when we get to our terminal, we're gonna use a command called git clone, and then we're gonna you don't I mean, you could right click paste, but what I like to do is a Control Shift V. Now, in Linux, it's kind of different to copy and paste. It's actually Control Shift C, Control Shift V. Unlike Windows, which is Control C, Control V, you just have to put the Control Shift, right? So that's how you paste. When I press enter, it's cloning, it's copying, it's pulling all the repositories that are in the GitHub repository. And there you go. So if you do an ls, you have phone and Foga. Now I don't want this, and I'm just going to remove it by using the, there you go. It's gone. But yeah, that's how you use git. And let me see if there's any more commands. As for now, I can't really think of much, so let's put this all into practice, right? So we're gonna actually, how about this? Let's make it like we don't know what we're doing, right? Or we just open this. We just open the computer. We just turn it on. We get in the terminal, right? So we're gonna ls to list out all the stuff that is in the pathway, and let's say we want to make a directory. Well, it's mk to make dir for directory. All one word. Make directory mkdir, right? And let's say we want to do files with a capital F, right? We do an ls, and right here we see files, right? Now we're gonna go into that file, and we're gonna do a cd capital F tab enter. There you go. So now we're in the file directory, and if we do an ls again, we can't see it in it because we didn't put anything in there. So let's make a document. We're gonna do a touch, and then we're gonna do hello.txt, not hello txt. Do an ls. There it is. In order to edit, we can use either nano, and since I'm assuming people don't know how to use nano, we're gonna go ahead and use nano. This is what nano is, by the way. It's actually super easy, unlike Vim, in my opinion. But I like to use Vim because I don't make mistakes in Vim. So we could do we can go ahead and edit this. So hello world. Oh, I spelled it right. Exclamation point. Now we're gonna press Control S to save, Control X to escape. So now if we go ahead and clear this by using the clear command, do an ls again, and then we have the hello. We're gonna go ahead and concatenate hello world. Now another command is the ls, but you can add a switch la to list out all of these files right here. As you can see, it's a little different. So there's the file right here. Actually, this is the file, and then see who has access to it. And then these are I know what they are, but I can't really explain it well. These are like read, write, and executes permissions. So it tells us, users groups, which one has the privilege of changing these. So like this one, I have read, write, execute permissions. Desktop, I have read, write, execute permissions. So that's what ls tech la does. It's list out all of the stuff that are in the directory, especially the ones that you cannot see, right? So the la command actually shows you some of the directories that you can not see. So if you can't see Mozilla, you can't see local, that's because there's a period right here. So if I do an ls again, well, it's not entirely there, it's actually hidden, right? So the lsla is the command to find hidden files, right? So anything that's in the period is considered a hidden file, and we can use that command to find all of the hidden files, right? Alright, so now I taught you folks how to use the command line, and showing you the new setup. I know I told you guys it wouldn't be distro hopping, but I kind of got tired of installing tools and having broken packages. Now let's talk about like why I always keep coming back to Arch instead of sticking to Debian. Like I said, it's stable. No broken packages. I was daily driving the actual Arch operating system, where you actually have to partition, and then you have to like set it, like make it like FAT32 or whatever, actually installing a network adapter and doing all this stuff, downloading network manager to actually configure my networks, and then putting in my actual firewall rules and all that stuff. I actually dealt with that already, so the reason why I'm using EndeavourOS is it's just easier for me. Like I don't have to like bang my head on the keyboard and actually install Arch for like 3 hours, even though ideally it takes me about an hour. This one's a little bit simpler, and in my opinion, it's a little bit more flexible. And for this distribution, I actually have like the pause button right here, which is really great. I can pause it whenever I need, like I have like a brain fart and I need to recollect myself. So that's really good. But so yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say. Um, I will say you must be wondering why I'm doing this kind of video instead of the proxy chains that I was talking about. I'm still making a video about it. Don't worry, it's coming. It's on the way. I'm actually installing it on my VM over here. So it is in the progress. I don't know if it will be done by this week or next week. You're just gonna have to patiently wait. I apologize. But thank you for waiting. But yes, that's it for today. That's all I can think about. We ran over a little bit about Arch. We talked about how to install Blackarch on top of a Arch-based operating system. And simply, you just have to copy and paste these, by the way. Just copy and paste these, the blue text. Do not copy these right here because, excuse me, this one has a pound sign or a hash. That means it's a comment, right? So if you like ever like read code, or if you go to like the inspect right here and then you see someone like put a like a pound or a hash and then some text behind it, that's just a comment, right? So that's just and what this simply means is that is to exclude it out of the code. So this is what it means, right? So just copy and paste these, run the commands, go ahead and restart, and then you can go ahead and go willy-nilly, right? So that's all I can think about. Hopefully you find this video informative. I apologize for the latency on the proxy chain, but it's coming very soon. But until then, hopefully everyone has a good rest of their day, week, month, year maybe, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya.